Today I'd like to talk to you about a question that I think every betrayed spouse, male or female, has to ask themselves. It's a question that I think they do ask themselves early on. I think it's pretty apparent that every betrayed faces this question. It's usually within the first month, and it's one of the most misunderstood questions because the answer is not a black and white answer. But the question kind of rings out this way. Is the unfaithful just sorry they got caught, or are they actually sorry for their affair, addiction, or indiscretions? Now, I will warn you, the answer today is not simple. The answer is not black and white. There are several factors to consider, and anybody that says to you that it is not black and white probably has not been through infidelity, certainly has not been an unfaithful spouse, and doesn't maybe understand the nuances to the way empathy can develop in the heart of an unfaithful spouse. So today I want to do a few things. I want to explain a little bit about that process, but I want to help answer that question for you as best I can, and I want to give you some kind of guideposts to look for in answering that question for yourself. This conversation is tough. There's a lot of misunderstanding and confusion. And it would be easy as a betrayed to lash out because the unfaithful is not showing much empathy at all early on. Here's the truth. Early on for me, the first month or so, I was not super empathetic. I was stunned that it all came out. Most of us unfaithful are completely taken off guard that it actually came out and we got caught. We never expected that we would get caught. We certainly didn't have a plan for if it all came out. And so for me, I was stunned. And I had been in this affair for 2 years. So to think that overnight I was going to become this super empathetic, super healthy, very self-aware, very compassionate, empathetic individual was just too far-fetched. For most of us unfaithful, empathy comes slowly but surely, and it's usually in relationship to the quality of care that we get, how consistent we are with utilizing that help, and how serious we are about implementing what those people are helping us utilize. We do not become empathetic overnight. We do not be found out and then in a couple of days, we are the most empathetic, caring, compassionate, broken people. No, because we are still filled with the unhealthiness. We're still filled with the dysfunction, the bitterness, the resentment, the trauma, the hurt, the pain, the anger, the self-righteousness, the pride, the justification and minimization. We're still filled with that. It takes a while for that to fade away. It takes a while for the medicine to work. It takes a while for us to come to our senses. So to expect us to be empaths early on, it's probably a little bit far-fetched because we've been so unhealthy. So you could arrive at, well, they're just sorry they got caught. They're not sorry for what they did. Early on, I think most of us are sorry we got caught. That hurts, but that's true. And as we get healthy, and as we get help, and as we sober up, we start to really be incredibly compassionate when we're serious for what we've done. So my affair comes out. It is complete hell. It is a nuclear bomb of a proportion I never thought was possible. It becomes public. It goes nuts. I'm not going to get into it all. Within about 3 weeks, I go to be with someone that my only friend that has stuck around suggests I go meet with. He's a counselor, but he was an expert, and we spend a week together, and the lights start to come on, okay? This is all within the first month. It is alarming how I start to see things with incredible clarity, with incredible insight. But I haven't arrived. I'm just coming out of the fog. Okay, so that's a week. I come home and I'm with Samantha and I start to communicate out of these things. And she's crying and I'm crying and there's genuine clarity and healing. There's genuine empathy starting to come out of me, okay? Samantha says that she forgives me and we're starting to walk through some things, and then It's hard to describe. Then there's all kinds of false allegations that start to come out. There's all kinds of things that are launched against me because of being in the public eye. And all of this stuff happens, and Samantha starts to retract, pull back, and now she's dealing with anger and resentment, and she's wondering if she's being gaslit. She's wondering if she's being lied to. Is the wool being pulled over her eyes again? And so now things get ugly, and we end up separating for a couple of weeks. As we go through the separation, she starts to see my demeanor and how I'm handling myself, and she starts to settle down, and she starts to come to a point, okay, maybe there is true, genuine empathy. We live together again, and then I'm showing and displaying empathy and doing recovery work, and she starts to believe that there is genuine empathy. But that took at least a month for it to start to really show up, and then it was really hamstrung for a little bit, and then over the second, third, fourth, fifth months, all the way down, man, empathy was pouring out, compassion was pouring out. It was not overnight. And so sometimes you may think your spouse is not very empathetic at all because they've been unfaithful, but as they get the right help, and as they put that help into practice, empathy will start to come. If it doesn't, well, then certainly that's a red flag. Certainly that's alarming, and certainly if they've had the right help, there should be compassion and empathy. There should be fruit, if you will, to their repair work. Here are some guideposts that will help you determine, are they just sorry they got caught, or are they sorry for what they've done? Number one, is there any empathy? Now again, there's a qualification process. Well, if they've had no help and it's only been a month, you would hope to see some. But even if they haven't had any help, but they've been reading books or watching videos, you would hope to see some empathy somewhere between a month and 3 months. And you would hope to see that they are starting to show that they are contrite and filled with grief for how their actions have affected you. And I know many of you have been in relationships where there's been no empathy at all for months and months and months. And at that point, I have to tell you, they may only just be sorry that they got caught, and that might be genuinely what they feel. However, if you ask them to do something of a significant level, they may find empathy. They may actually get the right help, and they may start to display the things that you really want to see, which is a compassion for what they've done to you. Next is, if they have no desire to help you heal, they may just be sorry they've gotten caught. When you understand the devastation that you've created in the heart of your spouse, there should be a willingness to help you heal. There should be a willingness to help support you, listen to you, care for you. Maybe you're just so sick with grief. Maybe you're so sick with even physical ailments because of the trauma. If they're not there to help and support and trying to at least offer support and help for you, it's a big red flag. Finally, and this is a little tricky one, are they always making it about their pain as an unfaithful? I did that a lot. It wasn't that I wasn't empathetic, but I was still full of shame. And I was still focused on my pain and my hurt and my consequences. And I really hadn't been taught a lot about how do I show compassion? How do I show empathy? What are some things that I can do to help Samantha feel that I am empathetic for the pain that I've caused her? So a lot of it came through training and impartation from experts on how to show that. So I will tell you, most unfaithful early on are filled with their own shame and grief and pain at what their affair has cost them. They have to be trained. They have to be taught and shifted on how do I display empathy. If they're resistant to that training, if they're resistant to that mentoring, if they're resistant to that idea, you have a problem. If you're an unfaithful and you're watching this video, you probably don't, in your heart, want to convey to your spouse the idea that you are just sorry you got caught. I'm sure that you don't want that message being communicated to your betrayed partner. But if you display any of these things that I've shared with you today, you're communicating that to them. You are conveying that message to them. How does that make you feel that they think you're just sorry you got caught? I hope it breaks your heart. I hope it produces in you a sense of, man, I don't want them to feel that way. That's not what I feel. Well, then get help. Do work. Focus on their pain. Do what you can to support them. Find a mentor, take a course, get serious about your repair work to find verbiage, to be able to find compassion, to be able to display empathy in a strategic way so that you can help them feel that you are not just sorry you got caught, you are sorry for the actions that you have taken, you are sorry for the choices that you have made, and you will do whatever it takes to help them heal. If you don't want them to think that you're just sorry you got caught, then let me just tell you, do everything that you can, as fast as you can, as soon as you can. Spend any amount of money that you need to get the help that you need.